Beautiful songs of Vixen fading out there. I like that song, Watching You. God is watching you in whatever you do. Reminder to all the holiday makers, as you're doing things in the background, in the dark corridors, God is watching you. Anyway, still talking about gospel music, concerts, before we get to the holiday makers. I am just shedding a bit more light on here. We had some concerts that happened that we didn't talk about. We had on Friday 25th, Pastor Bugembe had worship night in Nansana. Full house. We had Mbera Genesis Church yesterday. Full house. Yeah. Today, Sekou Martin right here.
25 years of ministry.
This guy has sung songs. My goodness. He's going to be right here at the Serena Hotel.
He has been there, but he doesn't look it.
True. Actually, Sekou Martin, if you watch him perform, is one of those people, if they don't set the stage up right, it will break.
It will break.
The energy he comes with, yes. And I look forward to seeing yet another full house on that. Now, just recapping. Now, you see, if you look at the gospel concerts, the big concerts that have happened so far, they have actually set a statement. Like, they've put down a new record, a new statement for gospel events.
Yes.
First of all, they happened at the same time when there were other events.
Other big events, yes.
Now, let me just give you a look at it. When we did Live in the Park, that's time when Pompey and Magvo and Limo Blaze were here. On that same day, there was the Zinasosh. But this side we sold out, which is amazing. And there were so many young people who opted to come and have fun in Christ, which is just amazing. Ada's concert. On the same day, basically in the same venue.
Each time I think about Ada's concert, I literally get goosebumps.
True.
I'm like, ooh.
It's God showing his might and power.
But also, I just want to appreciate what the organizers of Ada concert did. They didn't only have artists that we are used to each time there's a concert. There was quite a number of new upcoming gospel artists, which was very good. Like, I mean, when I looked at Gabi and Tate like performing, I was like, yes, because there's a lot of new talent that has come up in this very industry we're talking about.
Very true. And actually, the other thing that was marveling about this Ada concert was God wanted to prove himself, to show you the new direction of what's going to happen. Because, like, if you see it, they both happen at, if you notice, down. That was at the hockey grounds up this way, and down was Billy Man's concert. But God decided to say, you know what, I am God Almighty and I shall work it through. And indeed, Ada's concert was really sold out. I can't really say much about they that were trying to have another concert on the other side. But well, this just goes to show you that as of right now, even as a parent, when your child says they're going for a gospel concert and you're actually sure they're going for a gospel concert, they are going to have clean entertainment. And also, at these gospel concerts, we have altar calls where those that have not given their lives to Christ are called up and picked up. So for the gospel events that are being organized out there, it is a no-brainer. If a child wants to go, let them go, but always have someone, you know, to make sure they're going where they say they are going. Now, let's talk about the students, because we're still bouncing back and forth between the parents.
No, we're just excited. I mean, the whole point is, Q, we are just very excited because of all these exciting things that are happening. I mean, we were worried. I mean, we have been down for nearly 2 years. No nothing, no entertainment, no nothing. And for us to come back and we are surprised by the response of the people. It says a lot. It really says a lot. And still, I want to appreciate and congratulate those that have succeeded in the events and those that have come. Thank you so much. And let's continue. I think talk of concerts. I think as parents, we need to create entertaining activities for our children, especially this season. Because one thing I've come to realize, Q, is each time children or students are idle, they come up with either good or wrong ideas in their minds. You get it?
Yes, just like the saying is an idle mind is the devil's workshop.
And as personally, as a parent, yes, I want my kids on TV, but not so much. I'm not a TV advocate. I want my kids to to socialize more with each other,
yes,
and to find activities outside this house.
Yes.
That will put them together and will also make them happy, look forward to another day of their holidays. Yes.
Actually, talking about this, you see, the pandemic brought in a new mode of parenting and a new mode of children socializing. They got phones, they got tabs, they got different kinds of smart TVs and smart what. But now we are looking at it in this way, in that as a parent, one thing to guide you through this parenting, especially during this holiday, is try as much as possible to limit screen time. Limit that phone time, limit that tab time, limit TV time for your children. They should get the time to go back to the roots and socialize with each other. I've seen a family where you have 6 children in a house and none of them is talking to each other because they're glued to the screens. And this kind of creates social divide, because now they're missing out on just being social, going out, running in the yard, and learning how to play, inventing games. And these are things that will definitely affect them in the future. You're not seeing it now, but they've got to, limit that amount of screen time they're having so that they can actually interact and socialize with themselves. In the same light, what are your children consuming? So many platforms have come up, and during the pandemic they were all over the place. But as a parent, watch out for what your children are watching. Popular platform, everybody knows it. There's a platform like TikTok. So many parents just leave their kids to watch whatever they want. But if you as a parent log onto TikTok, trust me, after watching 5 videos, you will notice there is a problem. And also, even if they're watching, because of course there's Christian content on there, it's, you have to look for it. But then again, also, if you're saying, okay, my child's watching only Christian content, the 30-minute scrolling is going to limit their attention span. So you'll find, come a year down the road, your child cannot focus to listen to the teacher for 1 hour because their thinking span has been limited to those 30 seconds. Look at platforms like Netflix. We love the movies, but if you do not regulate what your children are watching, they'll end up watching all the kinds of wrong content. So as a parent in this holiday, mark it down. What are your children
consuming?
Yes.
First of all, what is good parenting, Q?
Yeah.
And to me, I just put down a few notes on here. Good parenting involves a great deal of consistency and routine, which gives children a sense of control. And also good parenting focuses on developing independence in children. So redundancy becomes the aim for parents. Good parenting involves a style that considers children's age and stage of development.
Yes.
And why am I saying stage of development? First of all, Q, there is a challenge you find in a home like mine. You have teenagers and you have kids.
Yes.
And sometimes you don't know how to balance that. I would say these are teenagers, these are kids. This is how I should treat the younger ones, this is how I should treat the older ones.
Yes.
So there's a lot of routine to do in both age gaps.
Yes.
But again, coming back to what are your children consuming? One thing I've realized about parenting has its challenges, but especially in this tech generation that we live.
Yes.
And one of the things I'd really want to urge parents to look out for, minus character building at home. When you're out, how do your children behave? I think one of the things parents should really do this season, minus kids being home, you need to visit a lot with your kids. You need to move a lot with your kids to teach children etiquette.
Yes.
How do you dress when you're going here? How do you behave when you're here? How do you talk to people?
Yes.
If you realize, kids don't know how to talk to people anymore.
Yes. Actually, you'll give them, let's say they meet up with the elder people and they don't even know how to greet them. I was shocked one time we were at a function and this young teenage boy, meets an older lady, like one of the grandmas who have come for the function, and how he's greeting is, "What's up?" I'm like, okay. Hi, what's up? I'm like, come on. This is an older person, so we have to teach these children the etiquette. And in that same line of that is, as parents, we've got to involve the children in our work.
Yeah, true.
They've got to understand that, the amenities they have, the luxuries they get to enjoy come from work. We need to teach them how to work. There's some who don't even, there are many who think, you know, fruits and what come from the fridge. Fridge is a magic box.
Yeah, and milk from the supermarket.
Yes, and milk from the supermarket. So you teach the children the work, teach the children where all this comes from. You show them that, you know what, much as there's a pineapple in the fridge, it has got to come through work, it has got to come from this. Let them get to know this, because these are basics that will shape them as an entire generation for tomorrow. These are some of the skill sets you pass on from you to your child, and then they'll also pass on to their children. There's some who don't even teach their children how to do simple chores like washing utensils. And this is universal, it's not for the girl child only.
Actually,
girl and boy.
What you need to emphasize on this, having too many house helps in the house does not make you rich.
True.
Not teaching your children how to do house chores does not make you rich. You know, that's where parents get it wrong.
Yes.
You want your child to look rich, you spoil them. You actually turn them into brats.
Yes.
Which is wrong. Because if your children are out of that house and reality kicks in and they don't have as many maids you have, it will be so bad for them. You'll have done injustice for them.
Actually, talking about that also, there's one thing I've seen parents do that I believe is going to become a problem if they do not like recheck themselves. Giving your kid anything they want, basically being a yes parent. I want this, yes. I want that, yes. I want this, yes. And then just keep showering them with money. Drowning your child's need for your attention in providing them with money does not make you a good parent. Because this child is going to grow up knowing that if I want something, I get it. Now imagine how broken they will be tomorrow if, God forbid, you're not there and they cannot get things the way you've always been providing them.
Yeah.
That is how they end up breaking and they start feeling like, you know, the world is too much for them, and you end up with extreme cases. So you've got to show them that, yes, much as I'm providing, sometimes it's not always a yes affair. And then also, finally to the parents, if I may just look here, some of the things I was trying to note down so that I don't skip them, is pay attention to your children's passions. This is
that's very important.
Education is really good. Them getting the 4s, the 8s, the 21s, the A's, the B pluses, that is amazing. But every child has got a passion, something they do out of their own love, and they feel so happy when they attain it. Pay attention to your child's passions, because many people actually, after school is done, make a living through their passion.
That's true.
Yes.
That's very true.
So pay attention to your children's passion, and then also just let your children experience society. There are people I know whose children don't even know what inside a taxi looks like. Let them experiment. Let them use some public transport. Let them mix with people who actually, you know, there is a class divide. Allow your children to interact with different classes, different people with different walks of life, so that they get to know that this life we're living is not a bed of roses. Let them interact with those that are low, those that are higher, so they can align themselves and get to understand life as it is, because life is more or less moving. Today you're here, tomorrow you might be
you don't know where you'll be
there. Yes, you're not promised tomorrow, so you've got to learn how to adapt to all walks of life. So if you don't let your children interact with, you know, everybody, you're like, mine is a certain class. You're actually not doing the child a favor.
Yeah, true.
Yes. I believe we've hit the parents too much.
No, just a few more pointers here. As a parent, it's very important that we guide and support our children.
True.
And we also must encourage independence in our children. Actually, I'm very worried about the generation to come. There is a lack of independence.
Yes.
They just can't do without.
They can't make their own decisions.
Yes, their parents, And another very key thing that we should not skip, Q, is we need to learn to apologize as parents.
Okay.
If I am in the wrong, I shouldn't feel entitled because I'm the elder, I won't say sorry. No. This is how we teach our children. The importance of knowing you're in the wrong, you ought to say sorry.
Yes.
I mean, I can't wrong my child and keep my wings up. No, I need to chop off my wings and say, I'm sorry. It will be easy for them to also say sorry.
Yes. Yes.
And discipline your child effectively.
Yes.
Don't wait. Do it. And also, this I will have to say again. I mean, two more things. Avoid being mean and unkind. Sometimes parents, we do things without minding what examples we are towards our children. Yes. Now, Q, a quick one. Recently, I think I mentioned this some time back. Recently, I was at a school for a parents-child meeting. And I'm in this class. This mother comes in with her son. This is a very young boy. She made a very hurtful statement. Now imagine that other mother with my kids and other kids. And she was like, toy. Be mindful what you speak, what you say.
Of the children, yes.
Clean your mouth. I mean, clean your mouth. You find a mother being very immoral in their speech, which is very, very unfortunate.
And of which they also forget that children are more or less copies. What you do is what they'll do. The way you walk is what they'll try to walk.
Yeah. And so, don't gossip about people in front of your children.
Yes.
Don't be mean in front of your children.
Now, just one more thing before going to yet another musical break. I believe we've been talking quite much. Now, the parents, one more thing from me to you, and also I believe you'll concur with this, is as a parent, set some time aside and have real talk with your children.
Especially
talk about the real matters. Don't sugarcoat things that will affect them. Money, drugs, things like sex. Talk about them, educate them, and guide them through, because these are things they're going to face in the world.
No, but
and yet most parents are keeping quiet about them.
Yeah, especially teenagers. But there is something you're skipping. There is something we're skipping. This whole tendency of letting your children touch people's phones, parents,
privacy.
Stop it. Don't allow your children into other people's phones. I mean, you know how you go to church and maybe you meet a friend of oh, let me play with your phone.
Yes.
Don't allow it. People have different kinds of content in their phones.
That's why
we live in a very difficult generation
difficult
right now.
And that's where it also comes down. Among those things of real talk, you're talking about privacy, respecting boundaries. There is really a lot that as a parent, you're mature, you've seen things that you have got to transfer over to the children. But now we're leaving the responsibility to the maids, to the TVs, to the
to the phones.
And to the phones. And you know, it's just like, for example, if let's say you had a cough, a dry cough, and you went and Googled, I have a dry cough. You see the kind of results you'll get. Extreme, crazy results. So similarly, imagine your child is dealing with something and they Google it. They are going to get extreme results that will make the child do something that even you, the parent, you won't really understand what has happened. So before you trust your child to get their information on how to handle life, how to handle situations, how to make decisions, before you trust them to, entrust these big things to the internet, you as a parent ensure that you have those talks, instill these skills into the children. Anyways, let's go for yet another quick musical break. NTV GXP still continue. We're talking to the parents as you welcome these holiday makers back home, the children as well. We're getting to you, and I believe one of these days among these shows when you are still at home, we'll be bringing in some people here, those that deal with teenagers.
Yes,
and
definitely.
we get to talk about these issues.
And we also get to know, I mean, our cue, sometimes your child could be going through a certain stage and you think something is wrong with your child. But each time we speak with counselors or involve counselors, you get to realize that, oh, your child is not the only one going through that specific stage or situation. So parents, don't again make it so hard for yourselves. At the end of it all, we just need to trust God for everything. Let's do what we can do and leave the rest to God.
Amazing songs from amazing gospel artists. Signing out there was Jessica Ness, yet another amazing musical piece right there. Now we are talking about parenting during this holiday season, and in today's show we have mainly focused on the parents. Like I said, we'll organize yet another one for the children. We'll have some people who deal with the teenagers to explain some of these things, and we'll also on that particular show is when we'll ask you for feedback. In case you have any questions, you'll definitely drop us anything on our social media pages right there, NTV GXP, and we'll definitely try to connect with someone to help you out in case you are facing any troubles. Yes, Carol.
Yeah, and as we come to the end of the show, I'd like to encourage parents, kindly boost your child's self-esteem as much as you can. Also catch your kids being good. When your child does good, please appreciate them. And even if they don't do good, don't put them down, but teach them the way. And be consistent with your discipline. And also very importantly, make time for your children. I know it's a very busy, you will always get busy. Try to be a great role model to your children.
Yes.
And make communication a priority.
Okay.
Very, very priority here.
Yeah.
And above all, let your children know God.
Yes.
The fear of God is the beginning of wisdom.
Wisdom, sure.
And children who know God, who know God's ways, they cannot depart from them.
Yes.
They will always have that guilt.
Yes.
This is who God wants me to be.
Yes.
I cannot be something else.
Yes.
And also be a little bit flexible, willing to adjust your parenting style, and show love unconditionally. And yes, we just want to wish you the best as we begin this beautiful long holiday, and thank you very much for being with us here in studio.
Well, before we do sign out, I have just 4 quick things as we sign out. Our time is fast spent. Number 1, let me start it with the fathers. Fathers play a very big role in children's lives. So just you providing, paying bills, paying school fees does not count. Those children do need your physical affection, your time. They need to feel your presence in their lives. That actually plays a very big role. 2, to our mothers, continue encouraging these children, teach them the ways of God, teach them life skills, give them time to develop and well. Now, to the single mothers, be very, very careful because the children look up to you for everything. So if you're hosting mail company,
That's
be
important.
very, very tread lightly on that. Don't host mail company in awkward places. Don't be caught by your children in weird situations. So that one to the single mothers, will expand on this yet another day. And then,
as well as single fathers.
And single fathers as well. Yes. The single mothers, single fathers.
And it's actually intense on the men's side.
Yes.
You know, when the men feel entitled, this is my home, I do what I want, my kids. No.
It creates a lot more
By the way, Q, I want to mention this. By you doing such wrong things and not being a good role model, bringing us, many partners in your home, you're actually doing your children injustice.
Big disservice, yes.
When your children no longer respect you, do not blame them.
Yes. And then, still in winding up, as a parent, there's one thing that you should never ever drop in your heart. And that one key thing is forgiveness. Yeah. Children are always up to something. They're always trying to do things to the best of their understanding as a child. So in that case, so many things are going to go wrong. But forgiveness is key. Always, always forgive. Our time is fast spent. NTV GXP will be back next Sunday for yet another amazing episode of NTV GXP. Thank you so much for watching. And from the entire crew and us, Kara and myself, would like to say bye-bye.
Until
we
next
shall see you next Sunday.
And happy new month to come.